Welcome, everyone, to our Small Steps, Big Impact 5 social media hacks with command. I am Stephen Delisio, your Market Center Tech Trainer here at the Keller Williams Advantage and Keller Williams downtown office in the Denver metro area. So exciting to see you all here today. Thank you all for throwing your information into the chat around what platforms you're on. I'm seeing a lot of Facebook and a lot of Instagram, which is perfect. That's where Command is really going to help you the most. There's already templates in there sized for those two platforms. I do see one person, Francisco. That's what's up, our first TikTok user. Glad to see that in there. Video is a big advantage here in the marketing spaces that we have on social media. And so utilizing that video, TikTok is great. We are going to have a short video component for today that you can actually get out of Command. And so I'm excited to show you all that today, and we are going to jump right into it. If you do have any questions while we're going through, I'll be pausing to check the chat for questions. So please use that for any questions you have as we go through the class. Drop in any questions you have, any comments you have. I always love to see the reacts. If you learn something, use your Zoom react buttons for the hearts, the thumbs up, all that stuff, so that we can see when y'all are seeing something that you learned. If you learned something or something was new, hit that react button so that we can get a little bit of that love coming out of the Zoom channel as well. So let's get going. Today's agenda is pretty simple today. We're going to go over a little bit of instruction in terms of what is marketing and prospecting, and the differences there, because it's an important piece you need to know about social media and what are your activities really. What are you doing when you're on the social media? Are you on a marketing task or are you on a prospecting task? And then we're going to go through those 5 hacks. We're going to talk about command graphics and some really cool pieces in there. We'll talk about neighborhood snaps. One of my favorite reasons to use KW designs over using another designer like, say, Canva. I'm a big Canva user myself, and I still use Command for the neighborhood snaps. Hack number 3, there's neighborhood videos that you can have Command make for you as well. So we're going to go and make one of those together. And then hack 4 and 5 are the first one, hack number 4, is actually out of Ignite. This isn't anything in Command. It is just a strategy that we're going to go over, and I'm going to share an additional strategy that I used to build my business 6 years ago when I built my business through Facebook. And then hack number 5, we're going to talk about how to match your Facebook database to your Command database, and some little hacks that will help you stay a little bit more in line with communicating with those people. And you'll see a color difference between hack 1 through 3 and then hack 4 and 5. And the difference in those colors is because the first 3 are marketing oriented and the last 2 are prospecting oriented. And so let's get into what that actually means in terms of what is marketing, what is prospecting. You'll find this wonderful picture helps you understand the difference between the two. Marketing is money intensive, but it is passive, meaning that you don't have to actively be connecting with every person who is engaging with your marketing, but you have to be aware that marketing brings long-term results. It is not an instant action that people are going to usually take and you're going to get that return right away. It usually takes a little bit longer. Prospecting, on the other hand, this is time intensive, meaning that it takes time because marketing is a one to many type operation where prospecting is a one-to-one type interaction for people. And so it takes more time and it's proactive, meaning you have to actively be working there. It's going to take your time to do it, but it does produce immediate results. Prospecting is the fastest way to a deal, where marketing takes time to really let that campaign live out there and get some return and get some leads from that marketing campaign. And with social media, we can do both. Many platforms have ways that you can prospect through them, and every platform is a marketing platform for you. So I want you to start thinking about these platforms not as social platforms, which is what they're called, social media, but I want you to start thinking of them as marketing platforms, because that's truly what you're doing there. You are no longer a consumer when you're using social media for your business, you are a producer of content. And when you start wrapping your head around that, even if you don't like social media, because I get that feedback all the time that agents say, I hate Facebook, I don't like being on there. Well, that's fine. But this tool is so so important for our business in this day and age that marketing on social media, you just have to make that mindset change that you are no longer a consumer of social media, but a producer on social media. And we're going to see strategies in both of these categories: marketing that are going to bring us the long-term results, and prospecting. But before we get into the demos, we need to talk about the three keys for marketing and prospecting. And especially for marketing, and these really, really do come out when you start working in social media. First and foremost, it is consistency. You do not need to worry about the quality or what you're exactly saying or posting. That's not as important as being consistent when you are working in these platforms. Not only is that true for any marketing, but especially in social media, because social media algorithms determine how many people are going to be seeing these things that you're putting up there. And if you're only posting once a week, and then the next week you post on a Wednesday, then the next week it's a Friday, then the next week you don't post, and then the week after you don't post, then the week after you do, you're never going to get any love from the algorithm to really establish that Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, that they can trust you. Because remember, you're a producer. And if no one's putting content onto these platforms, well, then there's nothing for other people to look at on those platforms. So the more consistent you are, the more the platform can trust you to put content on their platform. And if they trust you, they're going to increase your algorithm strength so more people see your content. That's the game here that we're playing. And in social media, that's very specific to these platforms, but this is a lesson across all of your marketing, all of your prospecting, that consistency is the first thing that you need to concern yourself with. After consistency comes frequency. How often are you posting? Because if you're consistently posting once a month, that is good. You are being consistent, but the algorithm isn't going to show you much love there either because it's not frequent enough. And so I want you to be thinking about your frequency of how often you are engaging in the platform. And that can mean anything from posting a story, posting a reel, posting a timeline post, commenting, reacting. All of those things are going to engage your algorithm. And the wider the audience of people you engage with on those levels, the larger your algorithm can grow and reach other people. And last is quality. Quality is the third thing you should be concerning yourself with. And one of the biggest mistakes I see agents make is they put quality before consistency and frequency, meaning they're worried about how they look in their videos versus how often they are posting their videos. They're worried about the right marketing piece that looks the way they want it to look and looks good to them. And they're worried about the quality before they ever get down the consistency and frequency parts of their marketing. And so when we're going through this class, I want you to step back and think about consistency and frequency first before you start thinking about the quality. Because if you get your consistency and frequency down, the quality will come. I guarantee you're going to be better at videos in 6 months. If you start posting a video every other day on social media, your quality is going to increase so much over those 6 months. It will come. But if you put quality first, you start second guessing yourself, you start over analyzing, you start really slowing yourself down, and then you either end up quitting or you don't actually get any kind of engagement because you have no consistency or frequency on the platform. So I want y'all to reset your mindset around what you're posting, how it's going out, how often you're going out, and put consistency first. Then comes frequency, then we worry about quality. All right. So that'll set the table for us today. And we will start off with our demos. But during the demos, I want you to consider some questions to be thinking about, because I don't want you trying to follow along with this class. I want you taking notes on what you're learning, on what you can use. And some of these questions should help organize your thoughts as you watch these demos. So first, how can I utilize this hack to be more consistent? Is this something you can do daily, weekly, monthly, quarterly? Those are all frequencies that you can start thinking about and how consistent you can be with these different hacks I'm going to show you. Number two, how can I utilize this to create value for my audience? That last piece, my audience, is really important for y'all to identify who is it that you are posting for. If you're just throwing stuff out there for everyone to enjoy, no one will enjoy it. Start targeting people with your audience. And it doesn't have to be anything that specific, or excuse me, it does need to be specific. Let me rephrase that. It doesn't have to be an audience that is buyers who are in the Denver area. You want to get a little bit more specific than that. I want you to think about your audience as the people that you can talk directly to, that you can write the post to. And that might be first time home buyers in the Denver metro area who need down payment assistance. That's an audience. I'm that specific when I am creating my content. You'll find it's much easier to create content to utilize these hacks when you know who you're talking to and not trying to talk to everyone. Number three, how frequently can I use this hack? That's an easy one there to just think about what is the frequency of how often you're doing this. Number four, how does this hack fit into my schedule? All of this takes some kind of work and some kind of amount of your time to be able to be created and get onto these platforms. And so I want you to be thinking about, okay, well, maybe I can make 6 neighborhood snaps at the beginning of the month and then post them through the month, so I just have to make them and then post them in two different actions. Maybe some of you want to make them the same day that you post them. I want you to think about your schedule and the time you're going to be using on the back end of creating some of this stuff. Number five, where can I use these hacks outside of social media? There's going to be some stuff you see today that social media is a great place for them, but there could be other places you might want to put them. Maybe it's in your buyer presentation or your seller presentation that the neighborhood snap fits into. Maybe it is maybe it's in an email that you want to send out to your database or to open house contacts. There are so many ways to utilize this content, and the more you can recycle content, things that you put on your social media, then they go out in your blog, then they go out in your newsletter, then they go out on your website. Recycling things makes less work for you. And it also creates a consistent brand around what you are doing, where the value is that you have for your people, for your audience. And last, how can I be strategic with how I use these hacks? There is so many ways to utilize these different tools, y'all. And I want you to think about what is best for you, because you can pull a neighborhood snap for any neighborhood in the United States. But should you? Should you pull any neighborhood in Colorado? Or are you better focused on the farm that you're in? Or are you better focused in the small area or a specific zip code and you're going to only focus on those? And so I want you to think about how you can be strategic for your audience, for your people that you are trying to attract. And I see, Courtney, you have your hand raised. Do you want to unmute or drop a question in the chat?
I'll unmute. I was curious, you were saying you were talking about recycling your content, I think is what you said.
Yeah.
Uh, is that just like recycling the same concept and improving on it each time you refilm it? Or can you kind of dig into that a little bit more?
Yeah, so even simpler than that, I'm saying you post a video on Facebook, then take that same video and put it into your newsletter, and take that same video and put it on your website, and take the same video, right? And you're just recycling it
So you're
into
just
the different
blasting it on
platforms.
all platforms. Okay. Okay.
Yes, yes,
Thank you.
exactly. Very good. And I do, you're absolutely right as well in terms of recycling, as y'all don't need to post. If you're posting every day, you don't need to post a different thing for 365 days of the year. Usually you need about 90 posts, about a quarter, and then you can start repeating the same things. People will not remember, especially on social media. And I promise you, people need to hear it more than once. I've learned it so well. As agents, I'll teach the same things over and over again, and people are like, "Wow, I never knew that." And I'm like, "Well, I've taught it 10 times." But that's okay. That's how the human brain works. They're not going to take in everything. And so you don't need to create 300 days of content. You need about 90. And then you can start recycling it in that way where you say the same things, but just in a different way. You wear a different shirt in the video, but you say the same stuff. You talk about a different neighborhood in a different way, or you talk about the market in a different way, but you don't need to create all this original content. You need about a quarter of originality and then just repeat those same plays as you go through the year. Courtney, thank you for the question. That was great to set us up for our demos. So let's get into some demos. And a lot of this for the marketing side, because remember, the first three hacks I'm going to show you, they're all about marketing. And the first three are actually all in designs because this is where marketing can be built for us inside of Command. And so we're going to start off by coming over to the top right of designs. And of course, designs is the little paintbrush on the left side, where when you click on that, you'll see all of your designs. I am a big designer in Command. I have a few, I might even be over 1,000 designs now in here over the last 4 or 5 years. So I'm going to come up and click Create Design, which first we need to choose email, social, print, or a video. And we're going to be getting into social and video today. But for this first hack, we're going to talk about the social option because these are where you're going to find templates that are sized for social media content. And we're going to make a little Instagram post and show you there is so many templates within here. You see all of these folders on the left side can be dropped down and you'll see more folders within them that you can find many different templates. So we're not going to go through all of them, but there are some really great templates in here from stuff that's ready to go out, like you see in the home value stuff here. Some of this is ready to go out. What is your home worth? Some of it needs some editing. Usually every one of them does need to have the DBA name that you see me highlighting here. That needs to be edited so that you have your DBA logo in there, which is a compliance piece that the commission here in Colorado expects you to have your DBA logo on any marketing that you're putting out, which does include social media. And so make sure you have a good, clear copy of your Market Center's DBA logo. If you need one of those, you'll find them in the resource file that every time you get an email from your MCA or your Director of Agent Services, they have those resource files attached to your email. So you can go in there and there is a section in for both market centers where the logos are in there. You can download multiple from clear backgrounds to black backgrounds to black and white. So if you don't have them, go get them in one of those emails. Find an old email from Rocio or from Rania, your agent services, and go find those logos, and then you can actually add them into Command so that they just show up every time you open a design. And the design we're going to look at today is in listings, and we're going to go for a just listed, and we're going to come down here and one of the first things that I like to show is if you look at all these circles up here, these are actually filters. So if you want to see the door hanger designs, click on door hangers, and there's the two door hanger designs. If you want to see a stories size template, these are all sized for stories. And we're going to do a social square. And I really like this one right here. And you'll notice it's kind of hard to see on the screen, but you'll see in the corner, do you see how there's a 3 there? That's telling you that there's actually 3 different slides on here for your Instagram or for putting on Facebook where you can do multiple pictures in that one post. And so here, if you hold your mouse just over to the right side of the design, you can actually click through and see the different designs in there. This one has 2. I can click through and see the second one. And so we're just going to use this just listed design. And so I'll click use to get into the design. And the first thing we need is a listing for this. And this is the hack right here is my favorite part of KW Designs is the KWLS because it's actually connected to the MLS for you to pull in information and photos right from the MLS. So this makes it really simple, especially when the listing might not be yours. And remember, you do need to get permission to be able to post these type of posts that aren't your listings onto social media. So make sure you're doing that. Make sure you get it in writing. That is the commission's expectation here in Colorado. So we're going to click on the KWLS and we're going to search for a listing. Now we can just put the address in and you can see down through here all the other ways we can search, but it's searching the entire nation of addresses, which you'll end up with a lot of different addresses showing up. It may take you more time. So I like to just use the MLS number. It just is so much more direct. And we're going to look at a listing from one of the agents in the Keller Williams office. Pete Cook gave me permission to utilize this listing for this class. So thank you, Pete. If you see him, tell him big ups. Thank you, sir. And we're just going to type in the MLS number and hit enter. And now we're going to find it. It's this one right down here at the bottom in Inglewood, Colorado. And I'm going to hit select. What you first see, it has all the photos that I need to be able to adjust this design with my photos. So first thing, I got to adjust this background. So first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to delete the old background. And then I'm going to change it with this first picture. And you'll notice I have two options on the picture. I have the plus sign and I have the grid. The plus sign just adds it to the center of the photo. That's not what I want here. I'm going to delete that. I want to create it as the background. And that's what this grid of squares is saying, just make this picture my background. So we'll click on that. And then boom, we have it moved in right in here. But then I also need to adjust the address. And here's one of my favorite parts. You'll see on the listing, we have photos, but we also have listing details. And so I don't need to jump back between the MLS and this page. I have all the details I need right in here. And same thing like we saw with the pictures, we have a plus sign and we have the two arrows in a circle. The plus sign just adds that text to the center of the photo. The two arrows in a circle, those actually replace whatever I have selected. So I've selected the address here, and so I'm just going to replace the address with my 1111 East Dartmouth Ave. And I just do that, and it drops in my address for me. Now, this doesn't look as good as it did before, so I'm just going to adjust this so it says no, I don't want that in there. Then I'm going to abbreviate avenue like this. And then I might just even make an adjustment to make it all on one line. There we go. And now we have our first page done. So we need to find the other three pages, which come right down here. I can click on pages and then move on to the next one. And here we're going to jump back to our photos and we'll replace this photo with the same thing. You can see photos have that replace option as well. When I'm selected a photo that I want to change, I'm going to come in and hit that button to replace it. And then we have some other information here. Now, sometimes it's easy to hit that replace button, but you see, like with the bedrooms, I don't have a way to replace all of them at once. So I just have to manually enter in this information, but I have it all right here. So it's 3 bedrooms. We can keep that the same. I'm going to change it to 1 bathroom. And then I'm going to look for my square footage right over here, 1632. And then I'll adjust this here, 1632. And then we need to find our built-in time. And there it is, 1902. And so here we have 1902. All of that's adjusted except for our address, where the address I will use the replace function. And oh, let's make sure it has two different ones. So it's going to make me do it this way. So I'll just do it manually, 1111. And then we're going to replace Heather Lane with East Dartmouth Ave. All right. One more page to adjust. Unfortunately, I am not this person in this photo, so we need to adjust the photo in here. So make sure you're clicking on it. You can see if I just click in the area, I'm actually not selecting the photo. I've selected the box that's around here. So I move right off the corner so I can select the photo. And then I'm going to come into my images. And in images, one of the good hacks in here as well is my assets. My assets are different photos that will show up every time I do a design. And it's easy to add photos to your assets. You just click this add image button. And I have a bunch of different ones in here, but I always have my headshots in here. So I can easily just boom, replace my headshot in there. It's a little bit off. So all I have to do is click on reposition here at the top of the screen. And I'm just going to move myself over just a little bit. Click on done. Oh, need a little bit more. So I'll click on the photo, reposition just a hair to the left, and done. Now I look good, nice and centered. And last but not least, we need to move our DBA name in there. Be careful when you click on these. It can be a little difficult to get right onto the name. So make sure it is the box surrounding there. And just like we saw in the images folder, the logos folder has a My Assets section as well, where now I want to just drop in my Real KW downtown, or excuse me, KW Realty downtown. So I'm going to go into my folder. I have a couple of them in here. And since the background is a dark gray color, some of that might not show up. So I'm going to use my black and white and just put replace. It's a little bit low. So I'm just going to drag that up just a hair so that we can get that centered in. You can see those blue lines showing up to help me align things. Those are just guidelines to help me. And now I have my designs done, and it only takes just a few minutes to do so. After that, I'm going to download these designs by clicking on the down arrow in the box where you can choose what type of download you're going to do. I suggest for social media, you use JPEGs. You don't need to mess too much with the image quality. It should work all really well for you. And then you just hit download. That is the first hack. Camp or designs inside of Command are such an easy way to build content out. Now, is it the best looking stuff that I love? No, I like the Canva templates a little bit better, but it takes me so much longer to work in Canva because I'm back and forth between the MLS. For this kind of stuff where I just need to get content out, this is something you could do daily. This is something you might do weekly. That's the frequency I would be suggesting on posts like this. And remember, utilize your market centers, talk to people, get permission to post about their listing, and put that stuff up. This is what marketing is about so that people know that you are in the business, you are here to help. And so that is all we're going to say. Do I have any questions about what we've gone over so far? See, I see the chat is empty for now. Give you all a moment while I take a quick drink of water.
So when we post this content, we will have to give credit to the agent, we'll have to write it down there or we write it somewhere here in these photos.
Yes, and I would suggest putting it in the copy, Pushkar, in so when you're putting in that post and you're adding the text to the post, that's when I would attribute to the agent listing courtesy of so and so.
Got it. Thank you.
You're welcome. And Lynn asked, can you save as a template? So Lynn, there, as far as templates, the one that we started with, it's saved as that in your design library where you'll be able to pull this up, but we can't save it in terms of this with like my photo and stuff in it. What I would do in that case is if I return home, here, you're going to see in my projects, I'll have that option. And if I wanted to create this again without having to change my own photo, I just wanted to change the listing pieces, I would come right to this little three dots and then hit the duplicate option. And so I have my original, and then I would edit this one. I would open this one up by double clicking and hit the edit button up here where I can go in and make any of those changes to the next listing that I'll be posting. Lynn, does that answer your question?
Yes, it does. I just wanted to know if it was saved so you can just tweak it later. Perfect.
Yes, yes,
Okay.
perfect. All right. And then I see Lee asked the question, if doing a just sold, will KWLS also allow you to pull listings that are not active? It will, Lee, in our market. So in Colorado, we do have it set up, but I do have some agents that watch this outside of Colorado where not all the states in the United States will syndicate that closed information to the KWLS. So for us, your answer is yes. But if you're in another state, you'll have to check your guidelines on what is syndicating out, if it's just the active or coming soons. But in Colorado, we syndicate out the active, coming soon, pending, and sold listings. Great questions. All right, let's jump in to my next favorite reason to use KW Designs. And it's still right here in this same folder, but it's the neighborhood snaps. And we're going to click on that folder. And this time, let's do a story post. And you see, these are all sized for my stories, and these are all about markets and neighborhood specific markets. And so we're going to utilize, I like this one right here. So we're going to do this one. We'll click on use. It'll open up. And there's some basic stuff. We'll start with our DBA logo because that's what we did before. And you all saw me do it. So I'll do it real quick. Make my switch. I'll use my black and white again. Looking to sell in Barton Hills. Well, we're not going to do Barton Hills because that's out in Texas. Let's do Cherry Creek North. And then I have this little picture. So there's one more piece I'd love to show that when I have a picture that maybe I don't want the woman standing in front of the porch there. If you go up to images and then you click on workspace, KW has added hundreds of images in all these folders for these kind of stock photo style images. And notice you do have the stock photos as well up here at the top, but I like the workspace ones. They're a little higher quality. I love the lifestyle ones where you'll find a bunch of pictures just like we see down there. And it's as simple as finding one that you like. Let's go with maybe, let's go with this one here. And there we go. We have our image thrown in. And the last piece is the data. And this is the part that really holds agents back is that having to pull all this data for a specific neighborhood can be a lot of work. But here's the hack. You don't have to pull that data. It's already in here. And we'll go back to our KWLS, but instead of staying on listings, we're going to move over to snapshots. So we'll look for our snapshots and we'll search for our neighborhood. Notice you can also do this for postal codes. So that's really great for larger areas if you want to cover a larger area. And then all we're going to do is type in the name of our neighborhood, Cherry Creek North, and hit enter. Give it a moment. Again, this is searching the whole nation. So you're going to see there's a Cherry Creek North in Columbus. That's not the one I'm looking for. I'm looking for Cherry Creek North in Denver, but there's also Cherry Creek Village North. So be careful. All these neighborhoods are named by the residents of the neighborhood. So sometimes they can surprise you. I usually use my KW app on my phone to look at the neighborhood if there's a specific area. And I know my area really well of what neighborhoods are in there in command. And so you can do yourself a favor by just getting to know those as well. Your KW website is a great place to do that, or even the command app. There's a map in there that has all the neighborhoods as well. And so utilize those tools and it will make your life a little bit easier to know what neighborhood that you're actually trying to target. Get to know those neighborhoods. And there you see it builds out 3 different images for us with the data filled out. This data is updated every 30 days, so it can be out of date at some points. You might see some NAs show up in the total pending or total listing, and that usually just says that there aren't any pending listings or any active listings if you see an NA in there. And here, all we're going to do is hit that replace image button and it throws in all the information for us: average listing price, average sold price, total listings. Wow, look at that, 19 total listings and only 2 pending. The market is definitely on the move, y'all. And now we are done. Our image is done. And so we'll do the same thing. We'll download this and then hit download here. And then we can move that over to post on Facebook. I have my Facebook open as well because you can see you can easily add it to your story on your computers now. They added in these features. I'm a big Meta user for my business side of my Facebook, for my business page. I use Meta there because you can schedule stories in Meta. You can schedule posts in Meta, which I would rather do it in Meta than doing it on KW Command, because KW Command, you can schedule posts, but no stories. So I've switched over to always coming in and using the Meta Business Suite for all of my Facebook business page sides. On your personal pages, y'all, there is no scheduling. You have to just do it. If that's the part of your platform you're using, you just have to do it straight from your Facebook page right here. No scheduling allowed on your personal pages, unfortunately. All right, that's hack number 2. What do y'all think? I haven't seen any reacts. I'm hoping for some reacts, but anything in the chat, any questions about the neighborhood snaps?
I have a question if you have any like good training materials you could maybe send on using the Meta Suite, because I get like really overstimulated trying to figure that out. And I
Oh,
need to
yes.
kind of improve on that.
I definitely feel your pain there, Courtney. I personally feel the same way when I'm in there. I've only really gotten good at it by utilizing it and finding where I know I need the tools that I need in there. I don't have any off the top of my head. I'll look around to see if I come across any. It's really hard to find Facebook training because Facebook looks different for almost every user. There's different versions, as many as 10,000 different versions of Facebook out at any one moment. And so your Facebook Meta Business Suite might look different than mine, might look different
Yeah.
from somebody else on the call.
Do
So
you
it's really
monetize your Facebook or anything from Meta?
no, I
Oh,
personally do not.
okay.
Not yet, at least. I'm more on the YouTube side of things where I'm working towards that, but my channel is still pretty
That's
small,
smart.
which is a great reminder that if you have not subscribed to the control command, CTRL command, if you haven't subscribed to my YouTube page, get subscribed on there. You'll get to know all these videos that I teach. They go up on there. They're all available for you on there. YouTube has been taking some of my videos down because there's contact information in there. I'm working on getting all those back up if you saw any of those missing, but go follow that page so that you can get a notification when the new videos come out. All right. So now we are done in this part of designs. For hack number 3, we're going to stay in designs, but instead of creating a social design, we're now going to go in and create a video. And there's only one kind of video you can make. It's a cute little cartoon that it's going to make for you. It's a minute long, so it's perfect for Reels. It's awesome for TikTok. This is where I've seen people use Command and TikTok together is they'll use this video, and then instead of hearing the little sound or the little song that they have playing in the background, they do a voiceover to talk about what's going on in the little video. So let's make one real quick. I love these because they're fast. We're going to look at the Rhino Arts neighborhood. Let's see if we can find that one. Rhino Arts District, that's what I'm looking for. And I'm going to click on next, which it's automatically going to pull in all that same information that we saw in the neighborhood snaps, but now it's for my Rhino Art District. And I can change these if I'd like. If you don't believe that this is correct, you can make the changes from on the rise or on decline, holding steady. You can change all of these different inputs, including the neighborhood features. It's pulling these from nextdoor.com and seeing what they say on Nextdoor, and it pulls in these different features. But there are hundreds of different features in here, and you can adjust them yourself. I personally just let it fly. Right. I just let these go. I don't go to Rhino too often, but I do know that there are breweries there and there are wine, not distillers, vintners there, and these are pretty appropriate. You can also come in and edit your agent information, name, job title. I might change this as associate broker, and this is all pulling in from your marketing profile. Let me put my phone number in here. Oh, that's not my phone number. 0530-6818. Oh, had an extra one. There we go. And then your market center brokerage information. This is also going to be in here, pulls in from your marketing profile. Again, keep these in here so that you stay compliant. And then we hit next. Then it takes about 10 seconds. And then it will have our video ready for us that you can download and then post up. I think these make great story content, great reel content. You can even use them as timeline post for social media. And so let's take a little watch. I'm going to mute it though, because the song is just a cheery little song. I'll let you all explore what it sounds like. But what I found best is that agents just do a voiceover for these to explain this, and they hear it in their voice, and they're just talking through what is on the screen currently. $518 average price per square foot. 21 homes are currently listed in the Rhino Arts District. The average time on the market is 140 days. Holy buckets. I didn't think it was that long out there. And then it'll go through more of the stats, and just in the interest of time, I'm gonna end it here, but then all I have to do is just hit save. And then once I save it, I have it available here where to download it. You can do it right from this screen. You click on the 3 dots and then you click on download, and it's going to download to your computer as an MP4. Notice it downloads with a weird looking title, so I always come in and change the title so I know what it actually is. But that is it for creating videos. That's something you could do every week to start building up your content on your platforms. In terms of doing a voiceover, Lynn, what I would do is just you have to have some type of editing software. CapCut would be my first recommendation to check out. It's a free platform. You can download it to your phone. You get that video on your phone and you add it to CapCut, and then it'll have an option to do a voiceover right inside of CapCut. And you can pay for CapCut or you can utilize the free version. For voiceovers, that would work perfectly in the free version. And so there is some type of editing software. Maybe you're comfortable with that. Canva can do some of it, but I don't think they can really do voiceovers well. But there is lots of them out there. Great question. All righty, y'all. So we talked about our 3 marketing hacks to increase your marketing, because remember, those are put them out there and see who gets interested in this. And consistency is the key. Frequency will be your next key. Then you can worry about, oh, should I post? Should I make the colors different? Should I make this different? All these templates and designs are built for these audiences. And I'll be honest with y'all. I think that video is super cheesy. I don't like it. But guess what, y'all? It's not for me. It is not for me. It's for my audience. It is for the people out there on social media. And so if you feel that same way where it's, oh, that's too cheesy, don't worry about it. If you want to get a better video, go and make your own cartoon video. If you don't know how to do that, that's what I'm talking about. Stop putting quality ahead of consistency and frequency. Once you're consistent, once you're frequent, then go worry about getting a different platform to make a cooler video. But for now, you have great ways to share important information about neighborhoods, reminding people what you do and where you do it. All right. Let us jump back over here. And now we're going to talk about a strategy. This is not so much from command, but it is one of my favorite parts of the Ignite series that we teach here at Keller Williams. And the 10-5-1 strategy is very simple, y'all. 10-5-1 means every day you're going to go in and do 10 reactions. So that's a like, a heart, a laugh react, a care react, any of those things. Those are all Facebook reactions, but on Instagram, all you have is just the like button. On TikTok, I think there's just a like button, but you're going to go in and find 10 people to like. And my suggestion here, y'all, is do not use your timeline. Don't just start scrolling on your timeline and hit the react button on the first 10 that show up, because all you're doing there is increasing the algorithm for the people that you already interact with. If they're showing up on your timeline, that means that they're already in your algorithm. If you want new people to show up, you have to be a little bit more targeted. You might go search for some names. I think DTD2 is a great way to go here, where instead of just going down your timeline, you're actually going to look and see, okay, there's these 10 people in my DTD2 this week. I'm going to go search their name on Facebook, on Instagram, on somewhere, and see if I can go like the last couple of posts from them. And then same thing with the comments. You want to do 5 comments a day. I always say reactions are like high fives, comments are like hugs. They are a lot more intimate. They are a lot more personalized than just hitting the like button. Putting a comment, whether it's a couple of emojis or some encouraging message, that is really what we're looking for. But comments will boost your algorithm a lot more than just the reaction buttons. And so, same thing with those. Be strategic with them. Don't just follow your timeline. Sometimes that can be good. If you're running out of time, hit your timeline. If you have your 30-minute time block to do this each day, you can definitely go search out people that you don't see in your timeline and go put a comment on their post. And I guarantee if you keep doing that for some of those people, you're going to see them on your timeline eventually. That is the game we're playing here, is to try and expand our algorithm with the reactions in the comments. And then the last one is 10-5-1. One direct message or one post per day. And that will start engaging, because even when people answer your direct messages, that ticks up your algorithm with that person. When people like your post and comment on your post or share your post, that ticks up the algorithm. And so every day, one direct message or one post. Now, this strategy, y'all, I'll be honest, is pretty light work. This needs the consistency first and foremost. If this is new for you, start with 10-5-1. Get that habit established every day doing your 10-5-1. But I'll be honest, this is not enough to build your business on. If social media is in your GPS as one of your priorities, you're going to have to up it from there. And let me share with you what I did to begin my real estate career and how I built my real estate business up front. But this was 7 years ago now. And I followed a 25, 10, 10, 1. And you'll notice I didn't say 3, but it is on the screen, because when I was doing this, stories really weren't a thing. But that's where the 3 comes in. But this is what I did every day, Monday through Friday, for 2 years straight to build my business, where the first year I closed 11 deals, the second year I closed 9 deals, and most of them came through social media, and well, actually all of them came from social media. And this is what I did: 25 direct messages every single day. Yes, it gets hard to do that. It's if you only have 300 friends on Facebook, you're not going to have enough people to message 25 people a day. So the next piece, 10 comments, just like we did before, but instead of just 5, we bumped it to 10 comments. And 10 friend requests, where I'm going to my friends' pages, looking at their friends list and making some friend requests happen every day. 10 friend requests. I went from about 270 people on my friends list to 3,000 people on my friends list on Facebook within a year by doing this. So not everybody replied to my friend requests, but I got a lot of them. Then 3 stories. It sounds hard, y'all, but it's not as hard as you think, because you can usually, anytime you're doing any activities in your business, you can easily document those, create a little video, take a picture and put a comment on it. You'll be surprised, if 3 stories is your goal, how easy it is to get 3 stories if you're just worried about consistency and frequency. The quality will come, y'all. You'll get better at the stories. You'll get better on camera. You'll get better at using the stickers in the stories. Just start doing it. 3 a day. And then last, 1 post every day, putting a post onto the timeline. And that works for Instagram. This works for Facebook. This works for I think you can do all these. I don't think there are friend requests in TikTok, but it would just adjust from 3 stories in 1 post to just more videos, right? Because I don't think there's a difference between posts and stories for TikTok. I'm not a TikTok user, so if there is somebody on here who can correct me, please do. Correct me in the comments on YouTube, or correct me on the Zoom channel right now if you are watching live. And so that's really what I follow. That's your fourth hack. Is you can follow mine, you can follow the 10-5-1, or you can write your own. But committing to the consistency and frequency is the important part here, and having a plan so that you know what you're doing in social media. Because otherwise, if you go into social media as just saying, hey, I'm going to log into Facebook and start doing this, you're going to get sucked into your timeline. You're going to get sucked into wasting time looking at things that aren't productive for your business. And so follow these schedules. It will make your social media experience so much better. And we see Jeff says, what are your thoughts on using LinkedIn, or is it not a true social media tool? It definitely is a social media tool, Jeff. My thoughts are mostly, this isn't a different audience. The audience on LinkedIn is, they want different content than this. I would be a lot more analytical on LinkedIn. I would be doing like the neighborhood snaps, but I wouldn't post that video onto LinkedIn that we just saw. I would be more focused on very analytical, more business sided pieces to give information out about the real estate world in my market. And so LinkedIn is a great platform, but you have to know who's on LinkedIn. It's a different audience than it is Facebook, than Instagram, and all of them have different audiences with some overlaps, of course, but be aware of the platform that you're on and who is generally going to be engaging on those platforms. We also have another question from Lee. Is there a best time of day? Is there a best time of day we should consider completing our posts and our 10-5-1? So to begin, Lee, no, there is not a best time of day. Just get the habit established with whatever time it works for you. Eventually, you will start to see that there are better times. There is some data you can pull if you are using your business page. You can see some data on when people interact and timing, and some analytics that Facebook will give. They don't share any analytics about your personal page. So if you're using your personal, you have to just kind of utilize your own empirical evidence of finding what is working. But I always remind agents, don't put hurdles in front of yourself, like, oh, I missed my time, so I'm not going to post today, or I'm not going to hit my reactions. Establish the habit first, then worry about that, and start experimenting through your consistency and frequency. Start finding where it's best for you. Lynn has another question. Is this all on your business page or personal page? Not everyone is on my business page. So for me, I do most of these on both, where it's just double. I'm just doubling up a lot of this. The 10-5-1 or the 25-10-10-3-1, that's all personal side pages. So I just use my personal page for these. And then the business page, though, I make them match. So if most stuff that gets on my business page, I'm also posting independently on my personal page. Some agents do that. Some agents like to share from their business page over to their personal. I personally like to just double up the content. Let's see, one more question for algorithms. Should we try to do it at the same time of day? I would say, just Francisco, do what's easiest for you in terms of time of day, and then start after you've established a really healthy habit, which I would say 90 days of following one of these, then start thinking about the time of day that might work better. And then Pushkar has another question. Do we need permission from each agent before putting up a post of just sold for their listing, or is it okay to give them credit in the text? For just solds, I would still get permission. I'm not 100% sure, Pushkar, on solds. The intention is to not have properties online that the seller did not want online. But once they have sold the home in a just sold case, Just listed? Yes. Yeah. If you mean just listed, yes, you need to get permission before putting that post up. Anytime, because you can imagine a seller that might tell the listing agent, I do not want to see my home on Facebook. But you, as an agent that's not privy to that conversation, that contract, you wouldn't know that without asking the agent for permission. And then if they give you permission, but their seller told them that, the lawsuit doesn't come to you. And that's why you need that permission in writing. Email works in writing, text message does work in writing. Direct messages on Facebook also works. You just need to know how to be able to get that stuff off of those platforms. If the commission was ever to come knocking to ask you about, hey, you put this post up, seller didn't want it, there's an issue here. And so, yes, if it's active on the market, coming soon on the market, get permission. Usually that's as easy as I send a text message, I give a phone call, I tell them, hey, can you just confirm in the positive that says, yes, I can do this in my email, and then that's all I do. Simple as that. All right, that is our first prospecting method. And now, as you are prospecting and doing, especially if you're doing 25 direct messages a day, you're going to need to follow up with some people. And Facebook does not have any tool to be able to follow up with people. There's nothing there to remind you to do it. Of course, you can just go in and do it, but often we need a reminder. If somebody says, hey, I'm thinking about, can you contact me in 2 months? Or my lease is up in 3 months, maybe I'll do something then. Well, I want to be able to set a reminder. And so I use command to do that. And the best way to do it is just add them as a contact. The minimum information you need about a contact is their name. That's it. And so if we put in, we're just going to use me as an example, Stephen Delicio, and you probably won't have an email. You probably won't have a phone number. And that's okay. We just need their name. But here's the other piece I always add. Is I come down and I hit add more information, and I go to the additional contact information section and scroll to the very bottom of this section where you'll see social profiles, where I can come in and I can save the link. So I usually just go to that person's page right here, and then I'm going to copy the link and I'll drop it right in here and then hit create. Now I have this contact. And if you scroll down to the bottom, now I have an easy link that I can just, oh, I need to direct message Stephen. I click the link and there opens up the Facebook page where I can then come right over to, well, this is my page, but normally you would see a send message button right over here. So I can send a message to this person. And so makes it very simple because I can set a task now. I can come over here, hit create task, put follow up about buying when lease is finished. I can come in, set up all these other task options. I can even save their link right in here so it shows up in the task if I want to. Change my priority levels, or maybe it's a situation where they didn't tell me when their lease is up, but they said maybe sometime this year, where we're just going to say follow up about buying, and I'll actually make this a repeating task. And I'll go into custom and say I'm going to contact them every 2 months for 6 months. So after number of occurrences, 6. So it's going to remind me for a full year to direct message them each time. So I'm going to put that in here too. DM follow up about buying. And that tells me the DM tells me that, oh, direct message. So I'm going to Facebook. I have my link in here, and then I can hit create. Notice I do have to put the date in of when I want these to start. We're just going to choose today so that y'all can see the actual task right here created. And there it is. I can click on the task. There's my Facebook hyperlink that I put into the task. You see it has a repeating function every 2 months on the 23rd, 6 different times. And so really, really smooth system that if you're prospecting, the fortune is in the follow-up, y'all. Most people aren't going to just respond back to your direct message saying, yeah, let's meet today. No, it's going to take some follow-up. And you may forget who you're following up with if you don't start using command, start using your database to be able to systematically follow up with people. All right, let's see if there's any questions about this piece here, but we are going to move through this and let's see, any questions about adding people to command or the 10-5-1, the 25-10-10-3-1 process? Those are the prospecting part is easy in explanation. The hard part is doing it, y'all. making 25 direct messages happen every day, 5 days a week, sending 125 messages a week, it's not easy. But I will tell you, you'll get the hang of it as soon as you start doing it.
And
Elizabeth, you have
Stephen?
a question about
Oh,
posting? Oh, it sounds like we have a couple of questions.
Hi. Yeah, I do have a question about posting. So I pretty much similar to what other people have been asking. Like when you have to put the agent who listed the home, so I had this happen to me just recently, and they didn't put me as the like person who listed it. They just put the brokerage. And is that allowed, or do they have to put the person?
In Colorado, I believe, and I'll tell y'all, I am not your managing broker. If you are concerned about this stuff, talk to your managing broker. But in Colorado, all that is required is the brokerage, because that is who truly owns the listing, is the brokerage, not the agent themselves. All right, Amy, question.
Hi, yeah. So going back to what the other person said about the permission and the just listed. So you said the permission is before it's getting listed, like a coming soon, or is the permission like while the whole listing is still active?
Both. So coming soon, active, pending, all of those, you're going to need to get permission before you post it.
Okay. Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. Lynn asks, with a Facebook lead, is there any easy way to retarget them with other content, especially with multiple leads? Depends on what you consider easy, Lynn. So yes, there are tools within Facebook that you can retarget leads that you generated through Facebook in one of their paid lead platforms. Then there are ways to retarget in there. I wouldn't say any of them are easy though, even for myself. I find them pretty mind-bending the first round, but once you do it a few times, it gets a little bit easier. But in terms of just people who have connected with you that aren't driven in through an ad, there is no way that Facebook has a system for those people outside of uploading a spreadsheet that you can target people through, like a spreadsheet. And then that means you have to pull their name and email off of Facebook and put it into that spreadsheet that you can find. But yeah, I don't think there's any easy way to do it that is automatic outside of manually doing it, of just setting the tasks and reminding yourself to follow up with them. All righty, y'all. So today we saw a little bit of information about marketing and prospecting. We saw the difference between them, and then we went through 5 hacks, 3 for marketing and 2 for prospecting through social media. Hack 1 was the command graphics, where I showed you how to use the KWLS to bring in photos and information about listings. Hack 2 was the neighborhood snaps, showing you how to bring in those images that already has that data built in for each neighborhood you pull up. Hack number 3 was the neighborhood videos that you can create in less than 2 minutes. I had a full 1 minute long video that I can utilize on stories or on my timeline. And then we talked about hack number 4, which is more about your frequency and consistency commitment. We saw the 10-5-1 strategy. You saw my 25-10-10-3-1 strategy. And then the last hack is matching our database from Facebook or Instagram into our command system and utilizing that link to give us an easy one-click way to get to that follow-up piece that we need to do so that we can set tasks and systematically follow up with those people. Today, I hope y'all enjoyed the class. I would love it if you pulled your phone out right now, scanned the QR code, and left me a quick evaluation. It only takes about 30 seconds to fill it out. I do read every single evaluation. You do not need to put your name in there if you don't want to. You do not need to send me a video if you do not want to. But if you are interested in helping me out and getting me a little video testimonial about this class, I would love to do so. I'll send you an email with instructions on how to get that video over to me. But please take one moment, scan the code, and put your review in for me. I'd love to have you all do that for me. And that is all I had for today in the class. Thank you all for being here. I appreciate every single one of you. Let me know if there's anything I can do to help in the future.
Thanks, Steve.